Hello again, everyone, and welcome to a brand new edition of Zips Weekly with head football coach Joe Moorhead, brought to you all season long by Bryant Heating and Cooling. Well, if you were at InfoCision Stadium on Saturday afternoon, you saw the Akron offense rack up 417 yards of total offense. The Zip defense sacked the Central Michigan quarterbacks 5 times. Akron played with the lead the entire second half, all on the way to a 28-22 Mid-American Conference win over Central Michigan. The Zips right now are 1-1, and coach, that's the way you drew it up in the game plan. A beautiful day, homecoming, big crowd, sunny weather. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. As you mentioned, beautiful day, an electric atmosphere and crowd, and a win for the good guys, score one for the blue and gold.
Exactly. After coming back from that loss at Toledo, to come back and win the game the way you did, coach, that says a lot about you, the coaching staff, and the type of players you have.
It does, and we stress the word, culture all the time. And we told the kids after the Toledo game, when you get knocked to the mat, you have one of two choices: lay there and get counted out, or stand up and fight. And I was confident in our staff and our players that we were going to get up and keep swinging, and it proved to work out well.
Well, let's right now go right back to InfoCision Stadium on Saturday afternoon. It's homecoming. Big crowd, as the coach said, a lot of enthusiasm and all alumni back. And the coin toss, and the Zips, I think, lose the coin toss, right, Coach?
We won and deferred.
Now we're going to kick off, and Central Michigan's going to get the football. And you're going to hold them, I think, to 1 first down in their first possession of the game.
That was huge. And as we talked about in last week's show, they are a ball control offense that really likes to lean on you and run it a bunch and play 2 different quarterbacks. So to be able to get out and out of the chutes fast defensively and get off the field and cause a punt was big.
There was a nice play by Alex Branch, a young man out of Twinsburg, Ohio. He's playing well for you.
Alex is, between he and the other Branch like a law firm. They're doing really good at our nickel position, and good to see him make some plays.
There he made another play along with linebacker Melvin Spriggs, number 42.
Yes, sir.
We're going to get the football, Coach, and we're going to move down the field, and unfortunately we're going to have some penalties. I think we're going to miss a 48-yard field goal.
Yeah, we did. Got down there into field goal range, and the two of the cardinal rules of quarterback play when you get in the red zone is preserve the field goal and avoid the sack. Unfortunately, we did neither there. We took a sack and had the protection broken down, had a guy open, and then we weren't able to make the field goal and, lost some points there.
You see this defense swarm. It was good to get Gage Summers back in that linebacker spot.
Yeah, it is. Gage is a guy that played well for us at the tail end of last season, and he played some good ball early on. Had a little bit of a lower body injury and came back, and good to get a veteran presence back in the lineup.
Central Michigan with a field goal to take the lead as we watch highlights here in the first half of play. Ben Finley wide open on the sidelines. Coach, that seems like it's a play that's worked all season long.
Yeah, huge third down conversion there. They played off coverage. We had a little out corner combination, and Ben was able to find Miles for the conversion.
Now, you talked a lot about Miles Walker in the past, Coach. He's a guy that surprised with how good he was when he got here.
Yeah, he was. One of 3 guys, he, Colin Lyons, and DeMarco Johnson, who are still on the team from the roster we inherited, and I think it speaks volumes about those guys' character and leadership and their love for Akron.
So a couple highlights here in the first half, defensively and offensively, and we're going to see a couple guys really have outstanding games. Kyan Mason, of course, the freshman out of Cleveland St. Ed's, and Jordan Gant, the transfer from Tennessee State.
Yeah, two of our in-house players of the week. I think Jordan went for 176. Kyan was 5 for 125 with a touchdown. Huge third down conversion there to get us into the red zone, and just once again 2 more first-year starters that are really starting to find their sea legs and play some pretty good football and continue to improve on a weekly basis.
Here's the first touchdown for the Zips into the corner of the end zone. Great concentration by Kyan Mason for a touchdown, and the cannon goes off right in his face.
Yeah, caught him man-to-man, beat number 10, made a great catch, and lucky that thing was firing blanks because that could have been an issue for old Kyan there.
Owen Wiley with the PAT, and right now the Zips are down 10-7.
Yep, held them to a field goal. Once we get down there, we talk about 0 or 3 in the red zone, and we held them to 3. And then get the ball back and looking to take the lead.
You found the tight ends a lot on Saturday, Coach. It was good to see them get involved.
We did. All 3 guys had catches. 2 of the 3 had touchdowns, and and we talked about that last week actually. If you recall, wanting to get the ball into those guys' hands more and give them some protection, and that turned out to be true.
Nice sideline pass, and that was caught by Israel Polk. Stays right inbounds for the
another
catch.
big third down conversion there, and we were 10 of 16 on third and fourth down conversions, and that had been a area we needed to improve. And then we catch them in man-free coverage there, and a little half roll there, running back wheel with the tight end hide, and we're able to get on the board.
Ben Finley did a good job of looking off the receiver and coming right back to him.
Yeah, we like that misdirection. Half roll with a puller, try to get the wheel linebacker's eyes in the backfield. And there's an old saying: watch him throw it, see him catch it, and that's what ended up happening. He watched the quarterback throw it and saw the running back catch it.
The Zips up 14-10 against Central Michigan. Late in the first half, some crazy things are going to happen down the stretch. This is a really nice defense he played. I think that's Terrace Thomas, number 15.
Yeah, it is. You'd like to see him pick that thing off and take it to the house. But yeah, we're going to have some pretty interesting gameplay transpire towards the end of the half.
They got Flores, the running quarterbacks in, and that's Durham comes in for the sack. That was huge. You're down at the 1 yard line. Here comes the rush. But Terrence Thomas is going to come up with another big play to keep him out of the end zone.
That's a huge play right there. All right, make him snap it again. We talk about that all the time, 3 or 0 in the red zone. And, they bring Flores in there. He doesn't have anywhere to throw it except to the ground intentionally. And then that's a 10-second runoff. And instead of 14-13 or 17-14, the good guys going with the lead.
That is a huge series right there.
Yeah.
Anything could have happened. It really kind of determined the outcome of the football game. If they take it in there, things may turn out differently.
It did. You say a lack of precision is dangerous when the margin of error is small. And, we lost 3 points off the field goal, and they lost anywhere from 3 to 7 there. And get towards the tail end of the game, and then they missed a 2-point conversion. Yeah. And like Al Pacino said, in any given Sunday, game inches.
Exactly. The Zips leading 14-10 at halftime. We're going to take a break. Come right back and watch second half highlights after this timeout.
Inspired design. Ultra quiet operation. To you, it's a Bryant Evolution cooling system. To us, it's the ultimate machine.
All set.
For the dealer nearest you, visit Bryant.com.
The amount of experience you can gain from the University of Akron can't be overstated, whether it's designing components, manufacturing parts, and then actually just going and testing and driving a race car. How many people get to say they do that in college,
I've had amazing opportunities here at the University of Akron. I feel surrounded by love, by support. I know that I can be successful here, and that was always my goal. So I know that the people here are here to help me.
Okay, welcome back to Zips Weekly with head football coach Joe Moorhead. We're watching highlights from Akron's big 28-22 win over Central Michigan on Saturday. We are at halftime, getting ready now for second half highlights. Coach, you're up 14-10. Some crazy things happened at the end of the first half. What's your thoughts coming into the second half right now?
No, we were fairly satisfied with how we played, but I knew that it was going to be a difficult second half because Central Michigan's a very good team. So we went in, kind of made our adjustments, talked about what we wanted to do in the second half, and really coming out of the gate fast and needing to score on our first drive.
Yeah, you scored, I think, in your first couple of possessions.
Yes, sir.
And that was big, and carried you all the way through the second half. Right now, let's go back. The Infosys Stadium on Saturday. Again, it's homecoming, good crowd, big day. A lot of good things happening Saturday. Zips up right now 14-10, and they're going to receive that second half kickoff. What's the instructions here, Coach, on in the end zone? Bring it out if you want to, or
I'll leave that up to the special teams coordinator. If I don't know enough about special teams except to screw it up, so I let those guys handle it and delegate the responsibility, and I only chirp up if it's bad.
We're going to come out with a big play right away. I think that's Ben Finley to Kyan Mason again, and that young guy is. We'll talk about him later, Coach, but he is getting better and better every game.
Yeah, we call him man-to-man, and you're looking for your runaway routes there, and I did a nice job creating separation, catching the ball, and getting us down in the red zone.
Jordan Gant continues to run hard. 205 pounds, Coach, but it looks like he runs harder than that.
He does, and once again, credit Coach Richardson, and he's done a phenomenal job developing those guys and get our short yards and goal line quarterback in there. Michael for 3 strong plays, zone read with a flat route, and Looked like Willis Reed there.
I don't know if he was a shot putter in high school or not, Coach, but it
Oh,
looked
no.
like he was fired that up there like he was firing a shot put.
That was like Jimmy Chitwood and Hoosiers. That was a good free-throw technique.
Zips back on defense, and we had, I think, 5 or 6 sacks on their quarterback. We were getting in on it.
We did. Cyrus and Julian, and I think Bruno might have had one as well. Engage, a really nice job there. You talk about that. You can't let Lavish sit back there and count Mississippis and pat the ball and look all around, because he's a very good pocket passer. So we needed to, create pressure and move him off his spot and get him uncomfortable.
Here comes Jordan Gann again finding a hole. We'll talk about the offensive line in our next segment. And here's another route that always seems to be open, Coach, right down the sidelines, right in front of you. You got a good look at that one.
Yeah, we had been running a lot of bubbles out of 3x1 and knew that their nickel was, heavy in run support. They actually hit us on the same play 3 different times, so both teams were beneficiaries of the old bubble wheel route.
Yeah, that was Marcel Williams, the transfer from Marshall, that caught that one. Little swing pass outside, and more good yard is going to take that one all the way down to the 5-yard line.
Yeah, really good perimeter blocking. You get a little, they call that a traffic route. We were trying to get the back into the flat against man-to-man, and then they ended up cutting the tight end loose on the second read, and were able to find Connor for, I believe, his first career touchdown, which was awesome.
That was good patience by Ben Finley to wait till that opened up.
Yeah, real nice job. I think he could have got it to Jordan. I think he got a little spooked off by one of the guys falling off, and then ended up going to the next route in his progression and was able to get it to Connor under the goalpost.
Zips up 28-10. They've got the running quarterback in there. They've got 2 really good quarterbacks, but this young guy can really run with the football.
Yeah, this Flores kid, he's got a bright future, and did a really nice job. And Coach Chapin, their OC, schemes it up, and makes it difficult. You got to have great eye discipline and gap control in order to play against the scheme. And I thought, for the most part, our safeties lost leverage a little bit. A couple times, but for the most part, we were really gap sound.
Zips back with the football right now, trying to make things happen. There's Kyan Mason, number 3.
Yeah,
good shot from ground level, watching him move.
Yeah, he has very good short distance quickness, and this is the point where you're up a couple scores in the game, and you don't want to go completely conservative, but certainly don't want to do anything reckless.
Yeah.
Knowing the number of scores they need and the time on the clock. So we ended up getting some really critical third down conversions. And from a complimentary standpoint, getting some defensive stops, and ended the game in the best formation in football, and that's victory.
Central threw that into double coverage. Then I think they're going to see Gage Summers come right up the middle.
Yep, had a cross blitz against 5-man protection, and you really don't have the numbers to pick that up, and Gage did a good job getting that guy on the ground.
28-19 Zips. 7:23 left in the football game on Saturday. Zips with the football.
2 huge third down conversions on this drive. I think we milked 5 minutes off of the clock, and even though it didn't result in a score, we ended up cutting the clock down and not giving them much time to operate. And that was a huge drive for us, even though it didn't result in points.
That was a learning experience, I think, for the Zip offense to be able to put that one away.
It was, and like I said, you want to end the game on your terms, not on the other team's terms. And when you have the ball to end it, you could take the knee. No better feeling.
That was Julian Lovenshire again coming in, and we'll talk about him, Coach. But I think he had 3 sacks in that game Saturday.
He did. A guy that played D2 ball, and like I said, the type of guys we get in the portal. We got to be great with evaluations, and I think between he and Cyrus and a couple other guys, we brought some good guys into the program.
Now, they tried the onside kick to get it back and try and win it, but Marcel Williams, he had your hands team in there, I guess, and Marcel was the guy they decided to kick it to.
Yeah, you practice that 500 times and never know when you're going to need it. And it's like insurance. You don't want it till you need it, and and it's always good to have the hand teams out there, because that means that you're in a position to win the game.
Exactly. Big win for the Zips right now at 28-22 over Central, 1-1 on the season. They'll try and do it again on Saturday against Miami. We'll talk about the Red Hawks later, but right now we're going to take a break, come back and talk about some of the individual players that had good performances Saturday in that big win over the Chippewas. We'll be right back.
Inspired design. Ultra quiet operation. To you, it's a Bryant Evolution cooling system. To us, it's the ultimate machine.
All set.
For the dealer nearest you, visit Bryant.com.
The amount of experience you can gain from the University of Akron can't be overstated, whether it's designing components, manufacturing parts, and then actually just going and testing and driving a race car. How many people get to say they do that in college, you know?
I've had amazing opportunities here at the University of Akron. I feel surrounded by love, by support. I know that I can be successful here, and that was always my goal. So I know that the people here are here to help me.
Welcome back to Zips Weekly. We're ready right now to talk about some of the outstanding individual performances from Saturday. Let's start with the quarterback, Ben Finley. He came back after missing that game up in Toledo, Coach. He went 18 for 29, 252 yards, 3 touchdowns, and he found 3 different receivers for touchdowns. He spread it around a little bit.
Yeah, it was good to see Ben bounce back and get back into the game and into the flow and build off of what he did against Duquesne, and good overall performance. Created explosive plays, managed the run game well, redirected the protection, and only had one negative play.
Running back Jordan Gant continues to be the go-to guy in the running game. Ran for 176 yards against Central Michigan with a long run of 36. And you found him, Coach, at Tennessee State. What did you like about him when you brought him in?
Yeah, he had to carry the load with Sean still being nicked up a little bit, and Taven Curry did a nice job getting in there a little bit. But Coach Richardson and I have been together for a bunch of different years at a number of schools, and I trust him completely to make the evaluations. And he's a guy that had a couple nice years at Tennessee State.
Yeah.
Ended up getting beat out there,
right.
and once again wanted to find a place that was a good fit for his skill set and had an opportunity to play. And that we're the beneficiary.
There you go. How about senior quarterback Michael Johnson? Comes in, throws that touchdown pass into the end zone to the tight end. He kind of shot-putted that in there, Coach. But it's good to see him complete a pass because he is typically, I think a lot of fans and media look at him as a running quarterback, but he can also throw it.
Yeah, he's a runner who can throw as opposed to a thrower who can run. But Michael is a delightful young man. His dad was a quarterback here and coached with me at Mississippi State. And Michael wants to be a coach, so he comes into the meeting room and to practice every single day with an incredibly positive attitude, wanting to learn and excited to contribute, regardless of the depth of his role. So for him to come in and make some really critical plays for us to win the game, it was very validating for a kid who puts a lot into it.
Let's talk about the offensive line, Coach. He allowed only 1 sack on Saturday, and you had a lot of confidence in him. I think he went for it on 4th and 1 in the second half, and it resulted in a long run and a touchdown.
Yeah, usually you don't hear about the O-lineman unless it's going bad, and for 3 years here, it's kind of been, when I say not our Achilles heel, but we've struggled to run the ball, and we've struggled to protect. That's not been a secret, and now we're averaging close to 150 yards a game rushing and doing a much better job protecting the quarterback. So, generally speaking, your consistency and your explosiveness and your efficiency, you go as the line goes, and that's why I think we've been having some more success this season.
Let's talk about wide receiver Kyan Mason, the redshirt freshman from St. Ed's up in Cleveland. I talked to wide receiver coach J.D. Brookhart in the spring. He called Kyan Mason electric. So in radio, Coach, I'm starting to call him the electric man. Give him a little tag there. What do you think?
That's a good nickname. Let's see if it sticks.
Yeah, he's pretty special.
He is, and like I said, not much of him. Only about 150 pounds soaking wet, but he squeezes every ounce of and just a kid that he can make plays, and you're looking for guys with the amount of man-to-man that's played at the college football level who can create separation and run away from people, and he's a guy that can do that.
2 tight ends caught touchdown passes against Central Michigan. Connor Crayback, Max Wismer. Just gives teams looking at you right now something extra to have to prepare for.
Yeah, absolutely. Tight ends. Yeah, when Jake went down with an injury, and we're hoping to get him back this week. Next man in philosophy, someone goes down, the person who goes in is expected to do as good or better of a job. And, particularly down in the red zone and goal line area, we're in 2 tight end stuff. So, both those guys stepped in and made plays at a critical juncture in the game.
Let's turn to the defense and talk about some of the outstanding individual performances. Defensive lineman Julian LaVentura. You found him over there in Western Pennsylvania, Coach, and he's elected a captain. He had 3 sacks. That's a pretty good find over there.
Yeah, I think they used to call that the PSAC. I'm not quite sure what they call it now, but yeah, Coach Leonard was his position coach there before we came here, so had familiarity with Julian. And you look at the film, and he's not the tallest guy. He doesn't have great length or weight, but that guy plays as hard as any interior defensive lineman I've seen, and sometimes you can make up for a lack of physical size or skill with tenacity, and that guy practices and plays at a level that I've rarely seen for a defensive lineman.
Talk about defensive end Cyrus Durham, had 9 tackles and 1 sack, a young guy you found out at Arizona, and still young. I think his best football's ahead of him.
He is, and you know, once again, like we've talked about, guys who play at the bigger schools and you know, with the transfer portal, don't necessarily like you know, are looking to get on the field and contribute. You don't want to go somewhere and sit. You want to come somewhere and play. Yeah. And we had the availability with CJ moving on to Purdue and losing Bennett out of the graduation, and he came in and seized the opportunity.
I looked at the front 4, Coach, on defense, and they're all young guys, mostly sophomores. Bruno Dahl's in there, Durham, and Ronald Hall. They're all young guys, which tells me that's a pretty good group if you can keep them together.
It is, if we can keep them here.
Yeah.
That's always the secret. You identify them, no one else recruits them, you develop them, and then someone else swoops in. So, hey, that's the current climate of college football. So, you know, all we can control is when we have them, you know, do our best to develop them and help become, you know, better people, better students, and better players. And what happens to that is up to God.
You mentioned last week Jaden Brown-Demery, a young freshman out of Western PA, big kid, about 300 pounds. Is he a defensive lineman? You're going to put him on offense?
He's absolutely going to be on defense and just kind of wreaks havoc on the scout team during the week and gives us a great look. But a kid who, you know, really I think has Power 4 attributes, and we were very fortunate that he wanted to play defensive line as opposed to offensive line. So I don't think we want to rush him in there because we have some depth at the interior defensive line positions right now. But I think next year he'll be a guy that's really going to be, yeah. I mean, whether he's in a zero nose on the center or
Wow.
a shade, he's a guy that's going to draw double teams and you know, like I said, create a lot of havoc in there.
There you go. Hope you enjoy listening to the coach talk about the players each week, some of the young guys, and show great potential for the future here with the Zip football program. We're going to take a break, as we said. Akron right back at home on Saturday afternoon, actually a 12 noon kickoff against the Miami Redhawks. We're coming right back to get a scouting report on Miami right after this.
Inspired design. Ultra quiet operation. To you, it's a Bryant Evolution cooling system. To us, it's the ultimate machine.
All set.
For the dealer nearest you, visit Bryant.com.
The amount of experience you can gain from the University of Akron can't be overstated, whether it's designing components, manufacturing parts, and then actually just going and testing and driving a race car. How many people get to say they do that in college, you know?
I've had amazing opportunities here at the University of Akron. I feel surrounded by love, by support. I know that I can be successful here, and that was always my goal. So I know that the people here are here to help me.
Well, I hope you're making plans to be right back at InfoCision Stadium Saturday at noon, a big Mid-American Conference game against the Miami Redhawks. If you were at homecoming, had a good time, enjoyed it, come on back Saturday and watch this football team take on one of the best in the MAC and the Miami Redhawks, who are coming off a come-from-behind win out of DeKalb, Illinois on Saturday against Northern Illinois. Coach, they were behind in that game. Then they scored, I think, 25 unanswered points to win it.
Yeah, they did. And, you know, Coach Martin is as good of a person as he is a coach and kind of the elder statesman of the league. And they have their culture, their DNA. You know, they play, you know, explosive offense, physical defense, and are very sound on special teams. And, you know, they got the Finn kid now, a quarterback who had been at Toledo and then Baylor. And, you know, you talk about blue bloods in the conference, you know, Miami, Ohio is one of them.
They're 2-3, but their 3 losses, Coach, I think Wisconsin, UNLV, and Rutgers, those 3 pretty good teams.
Yeah, they are. UNLV 5-0, and that game came right down to the wire. And like at the end of the day, whether it's 0-5 or 5-0, you know, when Miami comes in the building, that you better have your chin strap buckled and a bunch of air in your helmet and be ready for a physical football game.
And we talked about the Miami offense and defense. Special teams, Coach, the last 2 games, they blocked a punt in each one of those last 2 games.
Yeah, hopefully we're not punting much, but if we do, we got to make sure that we're sound on the protection. And, you know, with the advent of spread punts, people find a way to get as many numbers as they can onto the shield and, you know, get that thing knocked back. So we got to be really sound in protection.
Yeah, we talked about the quarterback for Miami, Daquan Finn, a young guy that Coach said was at Toledo, then Baylor, now Miami. He is a veteran. He's, I think, playing in his 6th or 7th year of college football. But on defense, I noticed all 3 of their top players are all redshirt seniors. They're a very veteran team.
Yeah, I think you mentioned probably the most experienced and veteran team in the MAC, in addition to a very experienced and talented group of coaches. So, yeah, we know we're going to have our hands full this week.
Well, Coach, congratulations again on that big homecoming win over Central Michigan. Best of luck this week. We'll see you at InfoCision Stadium, noon on Saturday, the Zips against Miami, and right back here next week for more Zips Weekly. Always remember, go Zips.
Inspired design. Ultra quiet operation. To you, it's a Bryant Evolution cooling system. To us, it's the ultimate machine.
All set.
For the dealer nearest you, visit Bryant.com.
The amount of experience you can gain from the University of Akron can't be overstated, whether it's designing components, manufacturing parts, and then actually just going and testing and driving a race car. How many people get to say they do that in college, you know?
I've had amazing opportunities here at the University of Akron. I feel surrounded by love, by support. I know that I can be successful here, and that was always my goal. So I know that the people here are here to help me.